Is your volume on?
Wait a minute. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yay!
Yay. Oh, I'm so glad you were open to doing this today.
Thank you so much for asking me.
Yeah, so I thought maybe I would tell you about like what's been going on with my casting.
Absolutely, I'm ready.
What does casting mean for you?
It's auditioning or picking out the right people to play a character.
Right. I'm having some wine too. Is I have to cast and I also wrote the show, so it's kind of like I have to make sure the cast are true to the characters.
I'm glad
Yeah.
I'm not you.
Okay, so last week I had a casting for Eden, Other Side of Eden. So I had, I think, close to like maybe 20 people
Oh, wow.
actually audition. Yeah.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah, it's great. I mean, there's a lot, it just shows there's a big need for, people like, wanting to do things, virtually. And now that things are virtual, anywhere across the country, people can, audition. So, so for me, I'm trying to stay true to my Bay Area folks,
Okay.
but I also, do an open casting call. So anyone that makes it, wherever they are, I consider, because, it's all about the roles.
So what do you look for?
Well, when I do a casting call, I do usually like age range. Now it's like a vocal range. So what I do when I do a casting call, I'll say, age range for a certain character, specific characters, and then I'll put like certain descriptors of what I think are the top 3 or 4 features for those particular characters, so that a performer could say, oh, I could do controlling or possessive or
Right.
creepy or things like
I think
that.
you can do all those things.
Huh?
I think you can do all those things.
I can't do creepy. I hope not.
For casting, you can act creepy.
Well, yeah, hopefully I've never been creepy. Yeah, and so and then on the casting call, I'll say what the show is about to get the interest, so people, have an idea. Those folks auditioning have an idea of what the content is and what type of show it is. So I had a lot of people for Eve.
Okay. Wow.
And only a few guys. And I'm curious if because I did put on the casting call, it's a queer show, like a queer perspective. So that might have, screened out some guys who probably either weren't comfortable, with that material, or, homophobic people, perhaps. But I did have one person auditioning ask how gay to play the character.
Good question. How do you answer that?
Good question. That's a good question too. Yeah, it was a little awkward because there were other people on the Zoom call too that had some kind of a reaction.
Yeah,
it was a little uncomfortable
Mhm.
because one, as an actor or an actress, it's better to understand the role, before which will show you more of how to play the role, in the situation. And, what I know about directing, and I haven't had any formal training, is like you as a director want the performer to internalize, what to do as the character, and that's how they would portray the role. Because I mean, it's easy for me to say, yeah, play it. I don't even know how you'd say, play it half gay or play it like on a range of 1 to 10. Let's go at an 8. Yeah, it took me a moment, and then I said, well, you know, it's not a matter of like playing it gay. I want you, you know, yeah, the character is gay. Okay. But like, I want you to play it how, you know, in the scene, how you would play it, you know, like naturally. That's what I had said. I said,
Right.
I want it to be natural sounding.
There you go. Yeah.
And yeah.
So did this person audition?
Yeah, he did.
How do you do?
He did. Well, so it was, I picked a, you know, an audition piece. It's called a side, a side.
Mhm.
So I gave him a side where his character and the other male character had like an emotional, um, you know, connection. And
Mhm.
so, and I said, you know, I picked this side because, you know, I really need to feel and hear the connection between the two. And he struggled with
Okay.
the you know, the being emotional towards the other male character. You know, this is all, you know, virtual. They're not like in the same space physically. And so I gave him some notes after it and gave him another go at it. And yeah, it just sounded unnatural,
Yeah.
like forced. And
That's yeah.
so
Yeah. That's
yeah, so you know, and I felt, you know, as a director, you know, I felt like, okay, this is where this needs to end. Like, you know, like how do I, you know, because I'm a nice guy, you know, I don't want to be like, okay, you know, yeah, this isn't working. So I try to think about like, okay, how do I end this audition? Because I owe us both and everyone on the Zoom call
of
to
course.
end it, you
Okay.
know, and but I don't want to kill the mood, you know, because everyone's having a great time, and you know, I don't want to kill the mood. So I said, thank you. I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna bring in another guy, this
Okay.
other guy, and he's going to come in, and then we're gonna continue from there.
Well, it's
Yeah, I mean,
difficult to
it,
be in that position.
it's very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to let anybody down.
Uh-huh.
Somebody came forward to play this role. Not everyone is cut out to play the role, and that's a decision you have to make.
Right.
So you made the right decision for the character.